away. I don't think it will, but that's a risk they're taking.
U.S. District Judge Reggie Walton is the guy who was presiding over this. He immediately called, he brought them all together for a conference and declared a mistrial moments later. Did he overreact? Should he have just said, wait a minute, you shouldn't have done this, let's proceed with the trial? Because the evidence in this trial, most people thought, who looked at it carefully, was overwhelming. This particular judge is known as a hard guy as far as sentencing. Roger Clemens could have gone to jail, unlike Bonds, who probably won't. The Rocket was looking at 3 to 6 months. So did Judge Walton just simply overreact, Steve, or did he do the right thing?
My opinion, he did the right thing, and what he said is, I can't unring the bell. What the prosecution asked for was a jury instruction to not consider that, but the problem is the judge said a man's liberty is at stake. That's a big deal. Putting somebody in prison, that's a big deal. And you just say, oh, well, we'll just overlook that. The judge said both sides are entitled to a fair trial, and the judge said defendant can't get a fair trial now. That's it. Try again. But what I would argue if I was a defense attorney is that, well, wait a minute, the cat's out of the bag. That's in the general jury pool now, so everybody knows it. And I would be arguing, throw it out. But again, that's a little bit of a long shot.
You mentioned September the 2nd, the judges ordered a hearing to determine whether we should have a second trial. Will the government just say, let's not go down this road, we already committed the biggest gaffe in the history of jurisprudence, let's just let it go, or will they bring Roger back into court?
My prediction is the government's going to go after him full guns blazing. Rusty is going to say he can't get a fair trial. My prediction is the judge is going to go ahead and have another trial, but the government is running the risk that the judge throws out. Remember, the judge has already threatened that to the government, that he's going to throw it out if the defendant can't get a fair trial.
Second day of testimony, witnesses were already called, so the trial already started. Will Rusty Hardin argue double jeopardy, that my client has already been tried by this case, it was a mistrial, you can't try him again on these same charges?
No, that's only if you've had a full trial. We just got started here, so that doesn't apply.
So double jeopardy is not the case?
I mean, he can argue it if he wants to, but the judge is not going to give him a
So what will likely happen? The government will call it back in, we'll get a whole new jury selection, and we'll just start over from scratch?
Yes, and then it would be interesting if that's in the jury questionnaire about what do you know about that, because that's very damaging. The bottom line is there's a lot of people in the general jury pool that probably were not familiar with that testimony. And now just about everybody is. That's really poisoning the well. And if I was Rusty, the defense attorney, I'd really be arguing my client can't get a fair trial anywhere, throw it out.
Is this as bad as I'm making it out to be? It seems
no,
it's
worse.
It's worse. It's worse. Is this the worst thing you've ever heard of?
This is a bad one. This is really bad. You slap the federal judge. You do not ignore what a judge tells you. You ignore that. You do the opposite. You so poison the jury. And this isn't one of these ones where you say, okay, well, we poisoned it in one area, so we'll just move the trial where nobody knows it. The whole country is watching this. You just can't move this trial where somebody didn't see it. We're on the other coast. We saw it.
All right, so Roger and Rusty Hardin are laughing right now. It's a beautiful day.
Well, they're not laughing.
They're laughing right now.
They're not laughing, but they're planning, they're strategizing, and they're saying, hey, a new door opened for us to escape through.
September the 2nd, we'll find out again. I'm saying right now the Rocket is lifting a cold one in Houston. On September